Good morning. Thank you for coming. Let's get started. First, I'd like to start and say a few thank yous. I'd like to thank the governor for being here, Governor Greitens. I also would like to say thank you to the City of St. Louis Mayor, also Director of Public Safety. Say thank you to the Chief of the Fire Department, CFD. My name is Demetrius Alfred. I'm President of the IAFF, Local 73, and a proud St. Louis City firefighter. When it comes to health and safety of firefighters and the general public, our union leads the way. And it truly is the leader of our union, the International Association of Firefighters, who has taken charge and laid the groundwork for how this entire profession is going about firefighting and treating the scourge of cancer in the fire service. When it comes to firefighters, this guy's got our back. He's truly a visionary, a tireless worker, never forgetting where he came from as a firefighter from Fairfax County, Virginia. He's always fighting for what is right and never forgetting the men and women on the front lines. That's why it's an honor for me to introduce IAFF General President Harold Schaitberger.
Al, thank you so much, and it's great to be back in St. Louis. It's great to be back in the state of Missouri, and it's always a pleasure and a privilege to be able to see so many brothers and sisters from our great profession. As president of the IAFF, I really have nothing less than a privilege to represent 310,000 of the very best firefighters, paramedics, emergency medical workers all across North America. And I'm very proud to be here today with our leadership, our International Vice President, Mark Woolbright, our State President, Sherwood Smith, our State Council and affiliate officers from across Missouri, and certainly from the city of St. Louis. And I'm particularly proud to stand with the governor of this great state, whom we are honored to join as we begin the process for a piece of critical legislation for this state's firefighters and other first responders all across Missouri. Our union's been fighting for cancer protection laws in each and every state and each and every province in the United States and Canada. And I'm very proud that this legislative initiative, Bill 1647, recognizes the nature of the job firefighters do every day and the increased risk of occupational diseases that come with the job, heart and lung, and yes, far too many cancers. The fact of the matter is that we have to be focused on taking care of not only our own that are still active on the line, but taking care of those families that are left behind when a member makes the ultimate sacrifice, and now the largest cause of death in our profession is due to cancers. So I'm particularly proud and honored to be today here with Tina and Margie and Terry, three of the widows who are here to help us make sure that the state of Missouri and the legislative body does the right thing. You know, when I think about this scourge, that we call it this scourge on our profession, cancer, I always like to put it in the context that this is taking place and happening to a group of workers who are the most healthy when they begin their career. They are much more fit and healthy than the average population. Yet clearly over time and over their careers, they're ravaged too often by disease and by so many cancers. And this is because simply of their exposure to so many traumatic events, their exposure to the toxins and the horrific environments and atmospheres that they crawl in and work in. And the fact is, it takes its toll. This legislation properly recognizes the job that they do here in this state, a job that has serious consequences. Yes, a job that leads to these cancers, and a job that is now the highest line of duty loss within our ranks. Bill 1647 changes the current law to recognize a scientifically proven connection between the work firefighters do and the cancers and disease that they unfortunately incur. And where our members are willing to be on the front line for all of the citizens, it's time for the citizens, and particularly the state legislature, to be on the front lines for them. This simply provides the recognition, and protection, and the benefits to make sure our families and the livelihoods of any firefighter who develops cancers from their hazardous duty include medical care, temporary wage replacement, permanent disabilities, unfortunately, and death compensation to their dependents. But in order to do this, you have to have a leader. You have to have a leader that understands how to marshal legislation, but issues through a body. Make sure that the legislative system and the chambers that will ultimately make this decision come to the right decision. And that's why I am so proud to stand with such a leader today. A leader born right here in St. Louis, an Oxford University Rhodes Scholar, a patriot who showed profound courage as a Navy SEAL, earning a Bronze Star and Purple Heart. Governor Greitens and I have had a long-standing relationship, long before he ran for and became the governor of Missouri. And he understands and embraces our union's principle that we've established for decades. And it's a simple principle. You stand with us, and we'll stand with you. If you have our backs, we'll have yours. And so it's nothing less than a privilege, with those standards as a background, to introduce the 56th governor of the state of Missouri, the Honorable Eric Greitens.
Thank you. Good morning, and thank you for being here. You know, our firefighters, they serve and they sacrifice, not for perks or privileges, but they do so to keep the people of Missouri safe. And today we want to say to all of you that we appreciate you. We appreciate what you do. Our firefighters signed up to keep us safe, and we have to do right by them here in the state of Missouri. There is a scientifically proven link between fighting fires and cancer. And according to the Firefighter Cancer Support Network, firefighters have a much higher chance of getting mesothelioma. They are 1.5 times more likely to get non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. You know, in this past year, the St. Louis Fire Department alone lost 4 firefighters to cancer. Now, a cancer diagnosis is tragic for any family. But unfortunately, that tragedy is compounded. It is often made worse for firefighters because after the diagnosis, the government makes them prove that it was their work that caused the cancer. They have to fill out paperwork. They have to talk to lawyers. They have to battle against insurance companies. And sometimes the bureaucrats deny them compensation. And the firefighters and their families are told that they need to go to look for help elsewhere. And too often, our firefighters, their spouses, and their kids also have to bear the financial costs. You know, in the middle of a health scare, these financial costs add a burden that firefighters and their families shouldn't have to bear. Firefighters fight fires. And if, God forbid, they have to fight cancer, they shouldn't have to fight bureaucrats to get the care that they deserve. They need to know instead that the people of Missouri are on their side, and that's what we're here to do today, to let firefighters know that we have their backs. Now, what we're doing today is simple. Representative Nick Schroer has filed a bill that's going to help our firefighters get the care that they deserve. And this bill will make sure that all firefighters in the state of Missouri have the same basic protections when it comes to job-related cancer. We're doing this to make sure that they'll get the treatment when they need it, and so that they'll have the best shot at fighting and beating cancer. Folks, this is a good thing to do. And as you'll see here today, you have representatives, Democrats and Republicans, who recognize that this is the right thing to do. But unfortunately in politics, sometimes good things get ruined for no good reason at all. Sometimes good bills get stopped in a political process that is paralyzed by the petty, personal prejudices of politicians. But I'll tell you this. It matters when you speak up. It matters when your voices are heard. And folks, we are going to get this done. We're going to get this done. And here's how it's going to happen. Nick and his team, they're going to be fighting for this in the legislature. And Harold and firefighters all across the state of Missouri and their families and their neighbors, they're going to be fighting for this. And I am going to be personally leading the charge in the governor's office to get this done. And for us to be successful, we need everyone who's here today and everyone who's watching at home to join us. Join this mission. Raise your voices. Call your state representatives. Call your state senators and let them know that you also have the backs of our firefighters. I think it's critically important that every day we are out supporting the men and women who are doing this work on the front lines. And it is an honor for me to introduce to you a great leader who has been on the front lines of this fight. Chief Dennis Jenkerson is a friend. He is also one of the strongest leaders for firefighters in the state of Missouri. And every single day, he is looking out for the men and women who serve here, who serve the people, and he wants to make sure that we get this right. Please join me in welcoming a great leader, Chief Dennis Jenkerson.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Governor, for that fantastic introduction. I've been on the fire department 39 years. And when you call a firefighter to a scene, we've got a mindset that there's nothing that we can't do. There's nothing that we can't accomplish. We're going to help you in any way we can. I've got current firefighters here today. We have retired firefighters here today. Like I said, we have a mindset that we can do anything. The St. Louis Fire Department is trying to change a culture of a dirty, grungy firefighter is the best firefighter. That's a super firefighter. And there's a lot we're going to change. And it's going to take us a little bit of time, but we're not going to give up on it. We're changing how we fight a fire. We're changing how we perform our service. But because we are a very headstrong service, sometimes we don't ask for assistance. We can always get it done. But with Governor Greitens, he's going to help us. We're going to get this through. We're going to get this accomplished, and he's going to help all the firefighters in the state of Missouri. So with that, I'm going to end this and say, from all the firefighters in the state of Missouri, Governor Greitens, thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Thank you all for coming.